Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for round 14 of the manufacturer series. Let's get this started. Brake just after you pass the 100 meter mark. Bring yourself to the left side of the track to set yourself up for the S's. You can take advantage of this curb on the right and just try to take both of these turns at full throttle. You can use a curb on the left to help the car rotate around this turn a little bit faster. For this turn, brake at the 100 meter mark, brake hard for a moment, slowly ease off of the brakes, make use of the curb on the left. Carefully accelerate and do not get on the AstroTurf that is on the right. Then bring yourself to the left side of the track and you'll brake just before you reach the 50 meter mark. Brake hard for a very short moment, ease off of the brakes, just try to hit both apexes. Now for this turn, you can either use the last understeer sign or this very specific tire mark as your next braking point. You can also take advantage of this curb on the right, slowly accelerate, use a little bit of braking, then gradually accelerate your way out. Then bring yourself to the left side of the track and brake when you reach this black sign that is on the left. Brake hard for a short moment, just try to bring yourself as close as you can to the inside without taking too much out of the curb, and gradually accelerate. Then you can just take this left turn at full throttle, use the curb on the left to help the car rotate a bit more, then brake before you reach the 50 meter mark. Don't go too wide, don't go too aggressive out of the turn, otherwise the car will start to get a little bit squirrely. Then just go a little bit wide as you enter this turn so you can get a nice smooth turn out of this final corner. But that is pretty much it for this lap guide. We'll finish this lap and then we'll go ahead and talk about the strategies. For this qualifying session, you have 10 minutes to try to get a good qualifying time. Unlike the Nations race for this Saturday, the substream is not going to be as big of a key here, but it'll still be pretty useful to get some of it, especially as you go through the main straight and the straight after the S's. So with that substream, you can shave off a couple tenths of a second, and that's going to matter a bit more the higher up the splits you go. When it comes to the tires, it shouldn't be causing too much of a negative effect as you go along in the qualifying session. However, there are a couple of cars where the tire wear is a little bit harsh on one side of the car. So for example, if you're in a front wheel drive car, then your front tires will be wearing out pretty fast. So if you're going along in the qualifying session and you notice that your front tires are starting to wear out to the point where it's getting a little bit difficult to try to get a good time in, then you just want to back out of the qualifying session, then jump back in right away. That way you don't have to go all the way around, go into the pit stop, change your tires, then wait another 30 seconds. You just back out right away, jump back in. That way you can just worry about coming out of the pit stop and then just trying to get the outlap out of the way so you can start your actual qualifying session once again. So this isn't just for the front wheel drive cars. There might be a couple of mid-engine four-wheel drives or front-engine rear-wheel drive cars that might have a bit of a problem with the tire wear. So in case your car does happen to be one of them, just do 1 to 2 outlaps, then jump back out of the qualifying session, jump back in, then just try to get the outlap out of the way, and then you'll be able to get a couple more qualifying laps in, and you'll be able to do it with better tires instead of trying to do one long stint with really worn tires. But let's say that your tire wear is really good, or you just don't care about jumping back out then jumping back in, then you'll have 6 chances, or even 7 if you get the timing right, to get a good qualifying time. For this race, tires and fuel will not be a problem for this race. So with the fuel, the multiplier is pretty low, it's at ×3, so it shouldn't become a problem at all in this race. With the tires, for a lot of cars, it shouldn't be a problem. The most that you have to do is adjust their brake balance, so that way you can try to even out the tire wear on all of your tires. So for example, with the Porsche Cayman GT4, the front tires suffer a bit more of the tire wear than the rear tires, so you can bring the brake balance to 0 or even +1, so 1 point towards the back of the car. Or another example, if you're in a car that has heavy tire wear towards the rear of the car, then bring the brake balance towards the front of the car. So if you don't know which tires suffer more on your car, then you want to go into an FIA lobby. Over in the lobbies menu, just look up Interlagos, look for FIA practice lobby, then just do a couple of laps. That way you'll start to get an idea of which tires wear out more. That way you can try to counteract it by adjusting the brake balance to try to even out the tire wear a little bit more. But other than that, that is pretty much it for this guide. There's not much to talk about here. Once again, adjust your brake balance to try to even out the tire wear so you don't have to worry about getting insanely worn tires. But that's it from me. I would also like to note that I do have a Patreon now, so feel free to check it out in the description down below. But that's all from me. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So this is Mr. MCA, wishing you a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.